This podcast of the Model Health Show is presented to you by Sean Stevenson with RareGem Productions. For more information, visit theshawnstevensonmodel.com.
Welcome to the Model Health Show. This is fitness and nutrition expert Sean Stevenson, here with my beautiful co-host and producer of the Model Health Show, Jade Harrell. What's up, Jade?
What's up, Sean?
How you doing today?
I am immense-erific.
Immense-erific.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Immensely terrific today. Immense-erific.
I feel that. I absorb that.
Deep down in your soul.
It's a singing day.
Yes.
Well, today we got an amazing show for you guys. We're actually going to be diving into a topic that I'm really passionate about, and it's understanding a deeper source of what's going on with fat loss in our bodies and health overall. Because a lot of times we get caught up in the outer expression of beauty and of health and not understanding that it's actually certain organs in our body that are heavily responsible for our health. So we're going to be talking about
who's responsible here.
Who did this? So today we're going to be discussing one of the most important organs in the body that's heavily connected to fat loss, disease prevention, and our overall vitality.
Well,
we're going to be talking about your liver.
Oh, hi, liver. How are you?
Today we're going to learn about loving your liver.
Oh.
And even the name itself, liver.
Yes.
It's incredibly important for
That's
you
right.
being alive. And this is one of those organs where you can't get a liverectomy. You know, they can't remove your liver.
Not good.
But there's procedures where they can actually go and cut away a significant portion of your liver. But it's the most regenerative organ in our body that it can actually grow back. It can regenerate itself.
Whoa.
Fascinating.
That is.
And also, this particular organ is one of the most important organs for producing hormones, for fat metabolism, for actually creating fat. So we're going to talk about all that stuff today.
That's right. And I'll be good to it.
Exactly. So we got to learn how to love our liver,
Yes.
also known as the second brain. It does so many processes. So
Wow.
today you're going to get a master class.
Okay.
But, you know, in a fun and engaging way, you know how we do it,
Yes.
to learn about your liver and how to support your liver. So really get yourself locked in, because we're going to be talking about the major functions and responsibility of your liver, how it's related to fat loss, disease prevention, and vitality. Also, I'm going to share with you 5 major culprits that cause liver damage.
Oh, no.
And we're going to wrap things up with 5 tips for a healthy, happy liver.
That's right. And life, obviously.
Exactly. But first, let's give a shout out to our show sponsor, our amazing show sponsor, Onnit.com. Head over to Onnit.com/model. That's ONNIT.com/MODEL for 10% off all of your health and human performance supplements. They've got some amazing stuff over there. I'm a huge fan of their hemp force protein. The highest source of bioavailable protein for the human body is going to be found in hemp, containing one of the highest sources of something called albumin and also edestin, which is rare and only found in hemp. And edestin is probably the most digestible protein for the human body. This is something to not look over, because if you're going and doing the traditional whey protein, there's no way that you're going to get past. You're going to get past the exposure to what that cow was exposed to. So you really got to do your homework to find a source where, you know, you're getting something from a cow that's not sick, because that toxicity, that illness is going to get transferred over to you in some form or fashion. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, we're talking about a bodily fluid. You know, this is the blood, the mucus, the immune factors that are in that cow. And here's the thing. It's not that that's all bad. It's just, if you don't know your source, it could be a huge problem.
Yeah, good.
So we're cutting down on that, number one. But the thing is, it's been used for so long. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to upgrade it by getting a plant source of protein that's actually a high protein food in nature itself. So this is 35% plus protein in nature and incredibly bioavailable. So it's a easy switch to make, you know. And the thing is, though, is it going to taste good?
Right.
And I've got to tell you, the hemp force is the best tasting protein I've ever had, hands down. It tastes amazing in your superfood smoothies or even just by itself. Last night I finished a tough workout, did deadlifts, weighted lunges, all the good stuff. And
Oh, yeah?
I turned to, because I had to take my son and drop him off for football practice. So I was like, I need something quick. that hemp force protein tasted so amazing just with water, some cold water.
Really?
That's a really big testament.
Because you don't hear that very often.
Especially with hemp protein.
Right.
Because it's so grainy and gritty. It's like you're drinking sand.
Yeah.
It's not attractive. It's not fun. But the hemp force is amazing. So definitely head over. Just try it out at least one time. Do yourself a favor. You're going to be blown away with the hemp force protein.
I commit.
Also, pre-workout, I'm using this amazing supplement from Onnit, which is called Shroom Tech. And Shroom Tech is a very, very high quality source of cordyceps mushrooms, which we've talked about many times on the show, clinically proven to boost your stamina. It's also something, interestingly enough, a lot of people don't know this, that it can actually help to increase your insulin sensitivity. So that is tied with fat loss. And it's also got some really amazing complements in here as well. So it's got the rhodiola, which helps to balance you, to keep you focused. And that's what we really need when going into that workout. You want to focus in and get that stuff done. Ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen. Astragalus, which is noted for all of its anti-aging effects and energy. It's just a really powerful supplement. And the thing is, I don't use a lot of supplements, but I was like, I've got to give this a try. It's one of the storied herbs that I've actually had a lot of experience with over the years. Let me see what Shroom Tech has to offer. Let me see if Onnit actually had a great product for this. Pre-workout,
on it.
I'm telling you. And it's one of the few things that you actually notice the difference, and just across the board, everybody that I've talked to about it, when they take this pre-workout, they notice that they're getting that extra edge. They're getting that extra push, that little bit of extra energy to really power through their workout. And that's one of those things where, especially in our world today, where got a lot of stress going on, our energy levels can be up and down. We might not feel like getting in there and doing a tough workout. This is one of those solutions for that. So I'm a big fan of the Shroom Tech. So you get 10% off your entire purchase of supplements at Onnit.com by using the coupon code ModelHealth or going to Onnit.com/model. And also a little secret, by you being a fan of the Model Health Show, you also get 10% off of the Hemp Force and the Earth Grown Nutrients, the super green food product that they have,
so
which I use both of these.
Yes. As well as my cart.
You're not going to get that anywhere else.
No.
All right.
And
so
I need a whole case of that pre-workout.
You get 10% off those. Those are real concentrated foods. The hemp protein, the Hemp Force is a concentrated superfood.
Okay.
The Earth Grown Nutrients, concentrated superfood, super green food.
Yes.
You get 10% off those and 10% off your supplements. So head over there and check them out.
What's the code?
Model Health.
There we go. One more time.
Model Health.
I love it.
MODEL Health. You better know how to spell health. All right. So now let's get into the iTunes review of the week.
So fun. This one says, lunch break never tasted so good, from MVM 484. This podcast blows me away with its in-depth insight, vast topics, and valuable advice. I love that Sean provides concrete steps to improving your health, stress levels, well-being, and of course, sleep. There's something very entertaining about the way Jade and Sean interact with each other that makes each episode conversational and attention-grabbing. Are you listening? Thanks for the wonderful content and for keeping my lunch break so interesting. That is great.
I love that.
Yeah,
so actually finding out when and where, when and where people are listening to the show.
That's
I
right.
love that.
That's right. That actually could be very engaging. We talked about walking with the podcast and how that, drills it down into your system. But having that at lunch, when you got to make that ever so critical decision about what you're going to put into your mouth and what you're going to ingest into your body, this is a good thing to take in that way too.
Having lunch with me. I appreciate that so much. And thank you guys for leaving those reviews over on iTunes. Really, really means a lot. And I so appreciate it. Thank you so much. So now let's go ahead and get into the topic of the day. So today we're going to be discussing one of the most important organs in your body that's heavily connected to fat loss or fat gain, disease prevention, and your overall vitality. Today we're going to be talking about loving your liver. And we're going to start the show off with the major functions and responsibilities of your liver. And I'm actually going to talk to you guys about how it's related to fat loss, how it's related to diseases turning on or turning off in your body, and your energy and health overall. So the first thing that we're going to start with is something that your liver does that, we look past this. We understand in nutrition that you want to get your macronutrients. It's all about your macros, right? In the bodybuilding world. So these are your proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Those are your macronutrients. Now, the real issue is this. Okay, so we're consuming a certain ratio of these macronutrients, but what happens when they come into your body? Well, the first thing is that your liver is what's responsible for the macronutrient metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your liver is responsible for handling any macronutrient that you bring into your body. How critical is that piece of information to know? Because if your liver is lacking in its performance, you're not going to be digesting and assimilating all of the money that you're investing in your food and in your supplements. You're just not going to be getting the most bang for your buck.
Right.
So you want to make sure that your liver is functioning at a high level, or you're going to be throwing your money out the window in many ways. So that's one function of the liver. Another important function of your liver, and this is something to really pay attention to, like lean your ear in here. Listen to me now. Your liver is responsible for something called lipogenesis. Okay, lipogenesis. Lipo meaning fat, and genesis meaning...
I like the word genesis, beginning, new beginning.
Beginning or creation.
Yes.
So this is fat creation.
Get
all right.
that?
So your liver can actually create fat. And
so
this
you don't need my help. The liver doesn't need my help making fat.
So this is a situation where, a lot of people understand that today in our updated understanding of nutrition, eating high quality fats do not make you fat. Mm-hmm. Okay. I hope that we've got that covered. We've talked about that so much in our show. Thinking that fat will make you fat is like thinking that blueberries will make you blue, right? We really need to change the name of fat because it's just such a connotation we have because we think about it being on our bodies and relate that to the food that we're eating, doing something about that.
Sure.
The reality is that your body really emphasizes the use of carbohydrates as a means for storing fat because carbohydrates activate insulin more powerfully than any other thing. And insulin is your body's major fat storing hormone. Okay. Again, insulin is your body's major fat storing hormone.
You want to resist that.
You want to resist the carbohydrates.
Okay.
The cravings maybe.
There we go.
But insulin resistance can be another issue. We want to have insulin sensitivity.
There we go.
We want to be sensitive.
Yes, we want to be kind.
We want to be a man with sensitivity like Ralph Tresvant. Shout out to anybody who understood that one. R&B lovers.
Or Divergent, the movie Divergent, where the young man said, why can't I be sensitive and brave and strong and compassionate and all those things wrapped up into one with his cute self.
Shout out to the people who love Twilight type movies.
Did you get me?
So now here's how the lipogenesis actually takes place. This occurs when something called carbohydrate spillover happens. Mm-hmm. And basically, when you eat a meal of carbohydrates, you're going to fill up your muscle glycogen first. Okay. Now, some people do this on purpose. Some people, many more, millions of people do this on accident every day. Now, so you fill up your muscle glycogen and your body cannot have that sugar flowing in your bloodstream very long because it will start to tear you up and break you down. So it will store it as glycogen in your muscles. After that, after your muscles get topped off, it will start to store it in your liver. And this will build up something called your liver glycogen. Okay. If you just want to picture your liver, if you can actually picture what that looks like, and just see like a little meter going up, like the levels are just going up. And once it hits that top level, a little alarm goes off. Okay. Your body cannot put that sugar back into your bloodstream because it will kill you again. So your body in its infinite intelligence will convert that stored glycogen into something else. But one of the first things that it does is it has this carbohydrate spillover happen. So you've eaten so many carbohydrates that your liver is full and now it's spilling over and getting converted into fat. Okay. So your body converts it into something called palmitic acid. Okay. Which that can be coupled with other proteins, other fatty acids, and cholesterol. Okay. Which we'll talk about in just a moment. But the bottom line is your body has now created fat. Real fat. Lipogenesis has happened because you ate too many carbohydrates.
So is there a relationship between the liposuction and lipogenesis and lipo?
Those are those marketing words. You know, that it just means fat.
Period.
So yeah. So when you're going and getting the liposuction, right? Have you ever seen that? Like those little videos and they're just aggressively like sticking that thing.
Horrible. How do we do these things?
It's pretty messed up. It's pretty messed up. Yeah. But again, you're not actually changing it at the root. You know, you're treating a symptom. You're not changing the person's hormonal balance.
Right.
You know, so.
And imagine what your body has to do to recoup from that.
Oh my goodness.
Getting beat up
it's
under your
assault,
skin.
Brother.
Right.
That's assault. So the carbohydrate spillover. All right. So you've got to mind what I call your carbohydrate tipping point. Okay. So you got to find that right level of carbohydrates for you and your unique life today. Because that can even be different tomorrow. if you are engaging in more activity, you just, you did a intense workout or whatever the case may be, you might require a little bit more carbohydrates. However, if it's just, you're just kind of going to work, you're picking up the kids or you're just going to school, whatever the case may be, if you're not really doing something that's really intense in nature or very active, you don't really need that many carbohydrates.
Right.
So you've got to find that tipping point for you, and it's very unique. And actually, the topic of talking about the liver, I really pulled out of my Fat Loss Code program. I actually did a video. I took everybody into the classroom.
I love that.
And broke down this very topic to the nth degree.
It's so good.
And then we actually got into how do you find your own unique carbohydrate tipping point? How do you find the right diet and nutrition strategy for you as a unique individual? Because even that will change.
It does.
Because hopefully you're going to get better.
Right.
You don't have to get older. You can get better.
That's right.
And as you improve, your needs are going to change. And I really have a pet peeve. That's like my second time ever saying pet peeve.
Right.
About these cookie cutter diets, because it's not going to last long, and when somebody gets really frustrated, like this worked at first for me, but now it's not working, and not understanding that it's not your fault. It's not you. You have to be able to be flexible. The person you're working with needs to give you more options and help you to change and adjust things as you go along. So
that was very sensitive.
Thank you. It's my sense. It's Ralph Tresvant. All right. So we also brought up the cholesterol while I was talking about that. And cholesterol,
about that.
Yeah, cholesterol creation is another thing that your liver actually does. I want everyone to realize that the dietary cholesterol, the foods that you're eating that contain cholesterols that are supposed to be bad for you, whether it's red meat or eggs or whatever the case may be, it's a small percentage of your overall cholesterol that's in your body. Okay, we're talking probably less than 5%. The majority of the cholesterol that you're getting on those numbers when you get your LDL and your HDL and all that stuff is going to be from your body producing it itself. So this is endogenous production. Okay, so when we talked about the carbohydrate spillover, again, your body in its infinite intelligence will convert that excess sugar into palmitic acid, packaging it with fatty acids, amino acids, and also cholesterol. Okay. And cholesterol is not a bad thing, but now we've created this substance and it's called VLDL.
Right.
Very low dense lipoprotein. Right. So LDL is supposed to be bad.
Right.
Very, very low dense lipoprotein is probably very bad.
Very bad.
Right?
Very, very bad.
Again, this goes back to consuming too many carbohydrates in our meal or over time. Okay. And I mentioned earlier that some people do that on purpose, like endurance athletes traditionally would use that strategy of filling up their liver glycogen so their body can kind of feed off of that.
Yeah.
But also there's an uptick in causing cardiovascular issues with a lot of endurance athletes long term. And it's one of those situations where they run every day, they eat healthy, they're eating all these healthy whole grains. How did they have a stroke or a heart attack?
Right.
Well, this is part of the problem. And a lot more endurance athletes, and I'm not saying that that's bad for everyone, but a lot of endurance athletes today are shifting over, like our guest coming up on a show in a little bit, Vinny Tortorich, the long distance type of activities, and using a lower carbohydrate strategy and getting their body fat adapted. Okay, so there's many different ways of doing this if you're interested in endurance type of athletics. But if you're just interested in having a nice body,
yes,
looking good with your clothes off,
yes,
then
I went there for a moment. It was a great thought. Like, wow.
Then you don't really need to do endurance type of activities. We've got far better ways of doing this, but you've got to mind your carbohydrate tipping point, and you've got to understand that your body is actually creating dangerous cholesterol molecules when you're consuming too many carbohydrates. Okay, and your liver is responsible for that whole show.
So, like, if you were going up to the carb bar and the server was like, "Can I bring you another one?" and you're like, "No, I reached my limit. That's it." Or the car police pull you by. "No, I've only had 2 bagels, officer." That's my limit. I know my limit.
What are you eating, though, officer? Officer Donut. Right. So let's move on to the next thing that our liver is responsible for. And it's, for some people, they're going to recognize this one. A lot of people probably. And it's responsible for the production of bile. Okay. Ooh. Bile. What is bile? Right. What is it? Well, bile is basically this alkaline fluid that helps to neutralize the acidity of the compounds that are going to be coming from your stomach. Okay. Your stomach should be like straight up like the hottest place ever. Okay. It should be like on fire. When food gets into your stomach, it should be getting hit with major acids, hydrochloric acid, and really breaking that stuff down to absorbable protein structures. It's also supposed to be very, very hot and steamy in your gut to destroy any parasites that might have tried to freeload in the, their way into your body. A stowaway.
Right. Right.
So that's why that's important, but also understand that different parts of your body, different organs in your body need a different pH. Okay. So once the stuff gets into your small intestine, your large intestine, you don't want that stomach acid in those parts of your body kind of boring a hole through things, so this is kind of one of the results of things that can be related to ulcers or ulcer type circumstances.
So bile is the cool down fluid?
In many ways, yes.
Okay.
But here's probably more of its bigger role, which is to help you to digest and metabolize fats.
So we need that too.
Yes,
okay.
You absolutely. If you're going to be digesting all these healthy fats, the coconut oils, the avocados, the nuts and seeds, the healthy animal proteins, you need bile because it helps you to digest and assimilate those fats.
And what makes the bile?
Your liver
makes the bile.
Your liver is the source of the bile. Now, also, your liver has its sidekick, the gallbladder.
There we go.
That's like a little storage house, and it can actually hold on to the bile. But a lot of people have issues with gallstones and getting their gallbladder removed. Like, it doesn't do anything. We'll just cut it out.
Right.
You just cut away Robin.
Right.
Batman doesn't have Robin now.
I was just picturing the motorcycle and then the sidecar.
Right.
And I said liver and gallbladder.
He's made his job harder.
Like that. Right. And Batman is the hero, just like your liver.
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly. But Robin's not too shabby.
Exactly. Robin's got skills.
What we got to understand and what we're going to talk about is how can we avoid that situation in the first place. And if you do have an issue with gallstones or anything like that, we'll talk about a little bit about that in just a moment. So let's move on to the next function of our amazing liver, and that is methylation. So methylation really quickly just means the breakdown, the detoxification of things, of nutrients, foods, metabolic waste products. Your liver is critical in detoxifying everything that you come in contact with.
Gosh.
All right. It's a major hub and commander of breaking down the toxic things you're exposed to and also the organic things you're exposed to. Because just by living, even if you're breathing clean air, drinking good water, eating a healthy diet, you're still going to have waste compounds and your liver is responsible for dealing with that stuff. The next thing the liver is responsible for is drug metabolism. Okay, so any medication that you might be on or any of your loved ones.
The liver's got to deal with that too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's the first line of communication for those drugs. So I like to give a different insight about this and understand that the drug isn't necessarily doing something. Your body is responding to the drug. Your body is doing something.
Still doing the work.
Yes, your body is actually what's doing the work. It's making the decision to engage with it. And that decision starts in your liver. Okay, so this is why it's so powerful and important to understand that you got to be careful with the medications you're taking and also the supplements that you're taking too, because your liver, same thing. It's going to be dealing with any kind of concentrated synthetic products that are coming into your body. And just another reason why you want to make sure your supplements you're getting from a natural source and from a whole food source and things that have a tradition, that have some history. You don't want to take the supplement that just came out last week that some guy in Alaska was fiddling around with his chemistry set and came up with. It's like, this is the ultimate fat burner, dude.
That's right.
This is it right here. I don't know why he's talking with that accent. Maybe he's from, he's from the coast
Southern
and he
Beach.
moved
Yes.
to Alaska
with his
chemistry set. And he's like, I'm going to create the best supplement ever.
Oh my gosh.
So you want to get your stuff from things that have a story tradition. And those are the things that I'm a really big fan of. Next thing that your liver is responsible for is the production of hormones. It's producing about 4 or 5 hormones itself and also synthesizing hormones. But one of the big ones to pay attention to is your liver creates IGF-1 or insulin-like growth factor. This is one of those things where it's a performance enhancing drug if it's not endogenous, something your body's producing, but people were trying to buy this stuff or not trying, accomplishing buying this stuff to get an edge, in performance and building muscle and getting stronger, bigger, faster, all that kind of good stuff. But your liver is actually responsible for producing it within you. Also, there's hormones that are produced that help to maintain your blood pressure, to stimulate the production of bone marrow, which is going to house your stem cells. Just some amazing stuff that's critical for your health and longevity, and your liver's doing all that good stuff.
I love it. To know your liver is to love it.
So I'm going to share with you guys 2 more things your liver is responsible for, because there's so many. But I want to get into these 5 culprits that can damage your liver, and also 5 things you can do to have a healthy liver. So the next thing I really got to point out is that your liver is responsible for the breakdown of insulin. Okay. So we know that insulin is your body's major fat storing hormone.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it just operating in our body all the time. We want to make sure that it gets broken down and get shipped out of our body. So your liver is what's going to go and clean house after insulin is turned on and active in your body. So this is so critical for people that are dealing with issues with insulin resistance, like we already talked about, or excess fat storage. You got to make sure not just that you're minding your diet, but you're doing things to support your liver function, because it's going to help the overall equation of you being healthy and fit and getting the body that you really want to have.
That's right.
You know, and also, of course, improving your insulin sensitivity, which that could tie into somebody getting off their diabetic medications, reducing their insulin, whatever the case may be. But this is really key here, is taking care of your liver. Last thing, really, really quickly, the liver is responsible for filtering all of your blood. All right. This is, it's the river of life.
Big job.
The blood is the river of life. And this contains all the nutrients that are transported throughout your entire system. And your liver is really making sure that that stuff is as clean and healthy as possible for the blood that's getting to your brain, the blood that's getting to your eyes, to your toes, to your spine. Thank your liver for filtering that blood, because there's a lot of nefarious substances that show up in your blood because of the environment that we live in today, you know? So,
blood.
Thank you, liver.
Thank you.
I love you, liver.
We need to do like a special liver banquet, you know, and honor our liver with like song and dance and good stuff. We could do that every day.
Get liver-shaped balloons, you know, the whole thing. Make it a fun time. Just want to have some fun.
Liver-shaped swag bags.
Let the liver have some fun.
That's right. You know what though, Sean? We're talking about how we can give our liver a party every day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Which we should, for all that it does for us. Put your liver up on your shoulder. No. Keep it where it is.
All right. So now let's get into these 5 common culprits that actually cause liver damage. Now that you understand a great deal of what your liver is responsible for and the critical impact that it has on your health, now let's talk about some of the things that can take your liver down.
No.
All right. Number 1 on this list.
Off my liver. Keep your hands off my liver. Keep your hands off my Doritos.
Number 1 on this list is rancid/oxidized oils. Okay.
Ooh.
Rancid/oxidized oils. So one of the big components of these gallbladder stones that people are succumbing to, the pain associated with that, is due to your liver having a very, very difficult time processing and digesting these rancid oils. So what do I mean by these rancid oils? So this can be, for example, you see these vegetable oils on store shelves.
Yes.
You know, the canola oils, the corn oils. Those oils are very, very unstable. And exposure to light and heat will start to break them down very quickly and oxidize them. And when you consume those oxidized things, this is creating an inflammatory cascade in your body immediately. It's very, very dangerous. And also healthier oils, quote, healthier oils, like olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, which I'm putting that in quotes because it is healthy when it's extra virgin and it's not heated. And you'll notice with olive oil, they often treat that like wine, you know, how they store it. Dark bottle, keep it in a cool place, has a pretty hefty price on the good stuff, you know, and that's for a purpose that, you know, our ancestors uncovered a long time ago, that the oil would go off. It would go rancid if it was exposed to light. So a huge tip today to walk away with is do not buy olive oil that's stored in glass that's not dark, clear containers. And also don't get olive oil that's stored in plastic.
There you go.
Okay. Because the fatty acids, again, fatty acids can actually bind to those molecules, the compounds that are found in that plastic bottle. All right. So it's not a good idea. So you want to get it in dark glass. Big tipper.
Thank you.
All right. So rancid oxidized oil. So when you're using your olive oil, use it for things like a finishing. That's when your plate is done and then you finish by just putting a little olive oil on the dish. You don't want to cook with it per se because it's very unstable when it's exposed to heat. And what do we do instead? We want to shift over to something that's more saturated. Okay, it's very, very stable when it's heated. So that's going to be coconut oil, grass-fed butter, ghee, things like that have a higher saturation. Much more safe and stable to cook with. Mm-hmm. And we've also got to give a note to the hose. Okay, the hydrogenated oils. We've got to be careful with these hydrogenated oils. And many people are aware of this, but I want to make this point is that these are very, very damaging to your liver. Mm-hmm. It really congests your liver function, and that transposes over into what's going on with congestion in your cardiovascular system, in your muscle tissue, in your brain. Those hydrogenated oils that we've been exposed to for years in our fancy chips, our breads.
Oh, did you say our
hamburger
chips?
helper jumps to mind. You remember that little glove guy?
I do.
Did he have 3 fingers?
He had 4. It was so cute.
Really? It was a whole
3.
Yeah.
3,
so he had like a Ninja Turtle hand or something.
Yes. He was
creepy, man. You shouldn't even trust somebody.
He could even walk. He walked on his base.
You shouldn't be trusting anybody making your food.
And talking.
Yeah, a talking glove that doesn't have the right amount of fingers.
With eyes. All of that's wrong.
I love that cheeseburger macaroni, though. I can't lie.
So what? Now that you've eliminated that, what is your replacement? If you loved it, what do you love now that you eat?
It's not even on my radar anymore.
Right.
You know,
so
that's
something
just,
else.
Yeah, it's just absurd that someone would even consume that. You know, it's a matter of, okay, so what was the big deal about it? You had the beef, you had the sauce, the sauce,
super salty,
the sauce, and you also had the noodles. Okay, noodles, liquid gold, right? So what you want to do is, okay, you get a higher quality of the ground beef from grass-fed cow, for example.
So good.
Then you go ahead and make the sauce of your choice. You know, could be a marinara sauce, could be an Alfredo sauce. You can make a cashew Alfredo sauce, which we do that.
Yes.
And then for the noodle in liquid gold, so for the noodle, you can use a spiral maker, you know, and make you some zucchini noodles. You can make rice. You can use some cauliflower and make some cauliflower rice. And you can, you know, stir fry it really quickly if you want to, or you can have it raw to give it. It's just a delivery system.
Yeah, getting it in there.
You know, because the truth is, when you're eating those noodles, you know, spaghetti or the hamburger helper noodle, if you eat it by itself, it's nasty.
It is.
You know, nobody wants to sit up and eat a noodle by itself, a plain dry noodle. It's really the stuff you put on it.
Children do.
They're just bored.
Right.
You know, they don't even know, you know, they don't even know that that's, you know, it's the parent. It's the parent even putting that in their hand. So we can upgrade our ingredients and understand that those things are just a delivery mechanism. When people it's like, I've got to have my pasta.
Right. No, you don't.
Just, okay, well, if that's the case, eat that pasta plain.
Right. I dare you. Right.
I double dog dare you.
Show me.
Let me, and put on YouTube.
Right.
Let me see the video.
Right. Talk about a challenge. Plain pasta challenge.
Right. You just started something, Jade.
I did.
All right. So that's number 1 on the common culprits that cause liver damage. Rancid, oxidized oils, hydrogenated oils. Hopefully everybody's avoiding that stuff at this point because it's just not appropriate human food. Number 2 on the common culprits that cause liver damage is carb overload, the carbohydrate overload.
It damages my liver.
That damages your liver.
So when I go through the carb binge, I'm doing some real damage.
That can create something called non-alcoholic liver disease.
And it feels like an intoxicated state.
Yeah. Here's a funny thing. If we're consuming an extreme amount of carbohydrates or even the wrong kind of carbohydrates that your body can't really effectively digest and assimilate, those sugars can actually ferment in your body.
My goodness.
And what's fermented sugar?
Yes,
alcohol. That's right. So there's a lot of kids that are going back to class after lunch that are a little bit drunk.
Right.
And then wonder why, again, they're acting up in class and they're not paying attention. But then we attribute it to, they've got a learning disability, right? They've got something wrong with them. So before we go around diagnosing people with problems, let's address their diet first. Let's address their lifestyle first. Let's address, because the diet and what you're putting in your body has the biggest, most immediate impact on what that child is doing, what that person is doing, what's going on with their genetic expression, which we just did a recent show talking about nutrigenomics. So we talked about the impact of nutrition on your genes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very powerful stuff. So address the diet first, address the lifestyle first, and then we can talk about possibly bringing in some supplementation medication later.
Yeah.
And just one more point to make with the impact on the liver. According to one study in the Journal of Hepatology, a diet high in fructose and trans fat, which we just talked about, the trans fats, the hydrogenated oils, leads to obesity and fatty liver. Okay, so there's actually a study that was published in a major liver-focused magazine talking about how this excessive carbohydrate, in the form of fructose, which we just talked about this too. Pepsi was sweetened with high fructose corn syrup. Now they're like, you know what, baby?
Real sugar.
We got real sugar now.
Right,
We're not using that high fructose corn syrup we poisoned you with for a couple decades.
Right.
Trust us.
Yeah. And we're only going to put 5 and 6 cups of it in there.
Right.
In one can.
We want to avoid that stuff. It's just crazy, the things we've been exposed to. And the medical research is showing that this stuff is actually causing significant damage, in particular to your liver. All right.
So if liver is our other brain, it's unlike the brain in our head. It doesn't need to be fat. You don't want a fat.
Right.
You don't want a fat.
You want a nice, clean, lean liver and a fat brain, a big fat old brain. A fatty. All right. So number 3 on our list of common culprits that cause liver damage is alcohol overload.
Oh no.
So this can create liver cirrhosis. This can create liver disease. And you're looking like,
Well, you know what? It occurred to me a little while ago when you talked about the carb overload and then when it went into the sugar. So I thought about 3 ways that I was not being very kind to my liver. And then if the resulting effect of carb overload can create that, sugar alcohol, then if we're drinking too,
right.
Oh man. And then if our drinks are sweet drinks. So right now I'm that guilty puppy. You've seen the video. Did you do that? Did you do that? Yes. So I'm like, if my drink was sweet, it was alcohol, and we had bread that we were dipping in olive oil. That's one of those parties you don't want to go to again.
Right. Yeah. The thing is, it's common. It's our common societal norm.
It's a culture.
And I'm not saying to don't get the sippy on. No. Don't get your drinky drink. It's okay to do that. It's just, I said alcohol overload. So you don't got to get like tore down.
Twisted.
Right. Hey,
Yeah.
This is the best time ever.
Right.
If you say that 10 times in one night, you're probably drunk.
Right. That's funny.
It's the best time ever.
But the point is that to know what's all involved, if you know that some things, it's no different than a DUI. Are you going to turn around, drink, and get in a car? No. Well, then are you going to turn around and drink that in a way that would damage your liver?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just be conscientious of it.
So we don't want any LUIs either.
What's that?
Livers under the influence.
Louis. Yeah, you don't want to have a Louis.
You don't want to.
All right. So that one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Just be conscientious. You don't want to drink too much alcohol. Some alcohol has been proven to have some health benefits, in particular, with red wine. There's a lot of studies out there about that. But other alcohols have historic use for even delivering medicines, putting herbs and whatnot into alcohol to extract them, So there's so many different, if anybody could see Jade's face right now. So there's so many different messages and strategies for utilizing alcohol. It's not that it's the worst thing ever. It's just you don't want to damage your liver by drinking too much.
I need the liver. The liver is helping me in so many ways.
Next on our list, number 4 on the list of common culprits that cause liver damage is drugs and medication. This is one of the biggest side effects that you'll see if you go to drugs.com, for example. You can actually look at the implications and side effects of all major drugs. And I've done that a lot working with my patients over the years, different clients in different places, finding out what's going on, what kind of side effects they're dealing with, and could it be related to a medication they're on. So one of the big ones that's across the board a lot of times is damage to your liver or something associated with what your liver's doing. So now everybody has a deeper understanding of what your liver's doing. And if you don't see distinctly on that list of side effects, liver damage or liver cirrhosis, you know that if it has something to do with high cholesterol, or if it has something to do with damaging the structure of your blood, maybe making your red blood cells go down, whatever the case may be, you can be assured that it's probably got something to do with the liver damage.
It's going to bother the liver. It's going to bother the liver too.
Okay, so number 5, and our final one on our common culprits that cause liver damage is pesticides. One study following 22 subjects with long-term exposure to pesticides who had been employed in agriculture found significant liver cell changes, including lesions of the hepatocytes. Now, a hepatocyte is a cell of the main tissue of the liver, and this reflects a primary toxic reaction from coming in contact with these pesticides. They also noted toxic cell swelling and fatty infiltration of the functional cells of the liver as well. So, right, that's a lot of nastiness, right, that we're talking about here. And this has to do with exposure to pesticides.
Nothing good.
So again, at this point, if we're not eating organic, if we're not eating wild-crafted food, if we're not starting to understand and pay attention to more of where our food is coming from, chances are you're eating food that has been sprayed with these pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, rodenticides. And again, side, the suffix side means to kill.
Yes, it does.
Okay, that's what they're designed to do. And to think that they're not doing anything to your body is negligent, because they are. They're definitely doing something to your body, and this study shows that. And one of the biggest impacts that it has is damaging your liver, which will in turn damage many other functions and organ systems in your body. So now that we've gotten the big culprits out of the way, let's go ahead and wrap things up with 5 tips for a healthy, happy liver. You ready for this?
Gimme.
All right. So tip number 1 is to eat organic foods as much as possible.
Yes.
Okay. This one is, again, pretty simple to employ. It's not necessarily easy in all situations, but in our world today, it's just having your focus and having your intention that you're going to eat organic food, you're going to eat higher quality food as much as possible. You're going to be getting a big advantage out there in our very stress-filled, pretty toxic world that we live in. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I love our planet, but we got some issues, you know? All right. So when you're eating organic foods, this really means that you're eating foods that are free from these pesticides, synthetic products, synthetic insecticides, rodenticides, antibiotics, growth hormones, genetically modified organisms. That organic label means something. It might have some flexibility in different products out there, but again, this is something that can give you a baseline. You know, you're at least knowing that you're getting it from a company that cares a little bit, at least, about the product that they're giving you.
Right.
It might not be 100% guaranteed that they have your best interest at heart, you know, because a lot of companies now are seeing the big money that's being made with organic foods. And so they're shifting over and creating an organic segment of their product line.
I've seen.
But then they'll have their inorganic stuff too. So it's just like, really?
Right.
If you know it's bad, just give me all good
just
stuff,
give me all-
you know? But generally, go for organic because it's going to be so much better for your health and your family's health overall. Our number 2 tip for a healthy, happy liver is to avoid high glycemic and processed foods. So we've covered this over and over
Yes, we
again.
have.
The impact of having that carbohydrate spillover happen, of going past your carbohydrate tipping point and literally creating fat through lipogenesis, and also creating VLDL. So the very low dense lipoprotein molecules that have the potential, much greater potential, to get caught up in your arteries, create inflammation, and possibly trigger a heart attack or a stroke.
Right.
Okay. And this is all due to, again, consuming too many carbohydrates.
It's all from our consumption. We do this to ourselves.
Number 3 on a list of tips to have a healthy, happy liver is to exercise. Exercise.
Balky.
Exercise, more than anything, is really about getting the toxicity out of your body, about moving your lymphatic system, circulating your blood, helping your blood flow through your liver to get clean.
Yeah.
It's really about detoxification more than any other factor. The side effect of exercise, though, is getting sexified.
Yes.
Okay. So, with that said, one study published in Hepatology, and again, this is a magazine dedicated to liver.
There we go.
You know, there's magazines out there for everything. There's Home and Garden, there's fitness magazines, then there's magazines for people who are in love with livers and want to talk about liver health. So this was published in Hepatology, and they found that staying active for at least 150 minutes a week improved liver enzymes and other health markers of liver function. Okay. So there you have it, right there in black and white.
That's
and
right.
this is a really straightforward way to improve the health of your liver. Number 4 on a list of tips for a healthy, happy liver is to consider using liver supportive supplements and herbs. The big popular one out there that people generally know about as far as improving their liver function, supporting their liver function, is milk thistle. And milk thistle seed extract has been found to help protect and promote liver health. And studies show that milk thistle protects and promotes the growth of your liver cells. So regeneration.
Great.
Also fights oxidation, which we talked about, being exposed to oxidative stress from eating certain foods. So it can help to buffer that process. And also it has antioxidant activity, enhances protein synthesis. It's a really interesting thing in its affinity for the liver. So milk thistle is something that you might want to consider taking advantage of. At least maybe cycle
Here
it.
and there,
Yeah, maybe get on it for a month or two every year just to support your liver. Another supplement that you can look into for supporting your liver is MSM. MSM, that's methylsulfonomethane.
Is that right?
Methylator. It's a methylator. So it helps in detoxification. And what does your liver do? It's the major methylation organ in your body.
Makes sense.
Okay, so you can support your liver by using some MSM, and I'm a really big fan of it for the purpose of regenerating tissues. MSM works in synergy with vitamin C to create new tissues. So collagen, your joints and ligaments, they all need sulfur. So MSM can be a really great supporter of your health and vitality, detoxification, but also rebuilding your muscles and helping to recover from exercise, regenerating and making stronger nails.
Yes.
Your skin, your hair. MSM or sulfur, it's really a sulfur compound, it's organic sulfur compound, which it's not going to be something that we're going to find in a lot of foods today,
Right.
in the concentration that we require, unless you're doing what we do, which is eating a lot of green leafy vegetables,
Right.
which we're actually going to talk about in a moment. You'll be getting a higher source of those sulfur compounds. But MSM is just something to consider.
Sure.
And it's got a very, very low toxicity level. As a matter of fact, it's equivalent to water, all right, the toxicity level. So it's one of those things that's
So I could daily.
yeah, it's really safe. And I like to, I cycle everything. But in the mornings, I'll do my fat burning lemonade sometimes. So this will have the MSM, probably around a tablespoon, which is considerably more than what's recommended on the little container. But like I said, you need to get a certain threshold and build your way up. Don't just go and do 1 tablespoon immediately. And it doesn't taste that great either.
No,
So I'll do a tablespoon of MSM and a liter of water, a pinch of sea salt, a teaspoon of camu berry. So that's going to be my botanical source of vitamin C. Okay, because I said that those two work
great
together. They're friends. So those two go together, and then maybe half of a fresh squeezed lemon. And then I'll chug that down, and that'll be my inner bath for the day.
First thing when you rise.
So MSM, the next one on our list is Chanca Piedra.
I like
Chanca
that name.
Piedra. So that actually means stone breaker. Okay, stone breaker. We talked about the gallbladder and the stone formation. Here's a huge aha moment for everybody is that the stones that are in your gallbladder, how do they end up there?
Right. How do they form?
Okay, so your liver actually has these bile ducts. Okay, they're these looks like little streams that spread throughout your liver. And the stones start to form in there. Okay, so you actually have these little stone formations happening in your liver itself. And they're just kind of spilling over into your gallbladder.
Is that normal?
In ways, but we need to have practices. And again, our ancestors knew this stuff to cleanse the body, to give our body a break. You can actually do certain strategies to make your liver and gallbladder kind of constrict and release and have some of these stones come out. So I've done around 10 liver and gallbladder flushes myself, and I've seen the results of these stone-like substances, coming out of my body. And it's pretty mind-blowing when you see them. And some of them can be pretty big. And it's just like, where is this actually coming from? So some of the debate is really around, is it the oil itself that is causing because you consume a lot of oil to make your gallbladder constrict and then purge. Is it just a matter of your body's processing all this oil and creating these stones instantly? Or is it actually causing your body to shoot out the stones that have been stored in your body? It's a really interesting thing, but
Or
if
are they
anybody's
little pearls that the liver is creating,
right,
like an oyster and its inner jewel.
goodness. So if anybody's interested in more information about doing a liver cleanse or gallbladder type of cleanse, I'm going to put a book in the show notes, a link to a book called The Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush. Probably the worst title ever for a book, but
Well, you don't want to
kind
say
of
the
delivers.
miserable
Right.
gallbladder flush.
So, and also you can get some more information and just kind of education on what's going on with those organs in that book. So I'll put that in the show notes.
Okay.
But a much gentler way, and what I generally recommend now is consuming this Chancapiedra tea. And it's a stonebreaker tea. It helps to break down these liver and gallbladder stones and also kidney stones as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been used historically. It's been used for thousands of years, documented use to help to break those compounds down so your body can safely remove them. So I would highly recommend doing that as a first go-to rather than doing a more of a kind of intense process of doing a liver and gallbladder flush.
Okay.
So Chancapiedra. And lastly is green tea. Green tea is full of plant antioxidants called catechins. And these are known to improve the function of your liver. And also, you're getting so many other benefits, the antioxidants, a little bit of caffeine, which doesn't hurt for focus and all that good stuff, and fat burning, which we've talked about on the show. So green tea is something that's really great to add in for your liver health. So now we're at our final tip for having a healthy and happy liver.
Mm-hmm.
And number 5 on our list is to eat liver healthy foods. Okay, eat liver healthy foods. So some of those foods would be avocados. Avocados help your body produce a type of antioxidant called glutathione. And glutathione is needed for your body to assist your liver in filtering out toxicity and harmful waste materials. Okay, so it's really, really supportive in that process. Glutathione is considered a master antioxidant. Really, really great for your liver. Your body will produce more glutathione when you eat guacamole.
Okay.
Eat that guac.
I love guac.
Next up on the list is leafy greens. Leafy greens protect your liver by neutralizing toxins and heavy metals, which support your liver function because your liver doesn't have to deal with all that drama.
Nice.
All right. So, and another one on the list is lemons.
Mm-hmm.
Lemons and drinking lemon water, which I talked about in my fat burning lemonade.
Love it.
Lemons help your body to cleanse out toxic materials, and they also help in assisting the digestive process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So consuming lemons and also putting it in your water is really, really powerful. It's alkaline forming in your body. It's acidic in nature, but alkaline forming in your body. So lemon and lemon water, one of the easiest things, this is the first go-to that I have for encouraging people and helping people to improve their liver function. Just start drinking lemon water.
Yeah, all the time.
Last one on the list, there's so many. Basically, real food is going to help your liver function.
It's going to be good.
But these have some special affinity.
Mm-hmm.
Last one on the list is walnuts. Walnuts are actually another one of those glutathione producing type of foods. They're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which actually support your liver in going through its detoxification processes. Okay, so there you have it, guys.
We've got it.
We went through a master class on having a healthy powerhouse.
That's right.
Powerhousing liver.
Show me how to love my liver.
So important in our world today to get a deeper understanding of what's going on with our own bodies.
Yeah, and appreciation coming with that understanding.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Our body is amazing.
Yes.
And this is just one specific organ. It's a very, very important one, but there's so many different systems in the body that all work together for your good. And that's what we are all together, all of us.
We are a system.
We're working together for the good of ourselves, our families, and our community. And I appreciate you so much for tuning into the show. Make sure to share the show with the people that you care about and also the people that you maybe you don't care so much about. You want to, help them out a little bit too. Very important.
They deserve a healthy
Spread the
liver.
love.
Yes.
Spread the love.
That's right.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Take care, and I'll talk with you real soon. And make sure for more after the show, you head over to theshawnstevensonmodel.com. That's where you can find the show notes. And if you got any questions or comments, make sure to let me know. And please head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating and let everybody know that our show is awesome and you're loving it. Yeah. And I read all the comments, so please leave me a comment there. And take care, everybody. I promise to keep giving you more powerful, empowering, great content to help transform your life. Thanks for tuning in.